just naked outside the store. She's rubbing herself all across the windows. Everyone is just staring at her and you're just like, what do you do?
Hi, my name is Brian Molina. I am a former Apple employee.
Hi, my name is David. I am a former Apple Store employee of about 3 years.
Hi, my name is Glory and I currently work at Apple and I have been for like the last year or so.
And today we're going to be sharing our horror stories. So I used to work at the store back in Miami, and we had a lot of people from Brazil, Colombia, or South America, Central America that would come and buy phones in bulk. So one time this customer came in, he had his family, and he bought 5 or 6 iPhones at one time, as they usually do, and they paid with hundreds. Now we have these pens in our registers that obviously we use to check, but for some reason it cleared. Once the end of the day came and they start counting the money, they noticed on the back, the numbers were off and it came back as fake. So then I was, getting in trouble and I said, I did everything correct. We double checked it, everybody counted it, it was good. So that happened once and I believe it happened to somebody else as well. Wasn't fun, wasn't a good experience. We did end up finding out who it was because they had done it before, but I'm glad that was handled and taken care of. I guess the moral of the story would be just don't use fake money at all.
So this was definitely one of my most uncomfortable retail experiences at Apple. It was a very slow day at the store, and this gentleman comes over to me and he goes, hey, I have some questions about the iPads. Could you help me out? So I go to the iPad table, I go directly to like the 12.9 Pro, like a really big one. I had already sensed that something was kind of like off because if you've ever been in an Apple store, all the screens on the devices have like a screensaver that's always going off on them. But the whole table of iPads, all the screens were like black. I was like, this is kind of weird. So I'm like describing the iPad to him and I go and I just like press the home button and there was a human being of the female persuasion and it was a photograph of her from like this upper perspective, one of these like upside down peace signs like on her shenanigans. And so it was just that right across the screen. And so I kind of like scrambled to reach up, hit the power off button. And the man kind of looked at me a little horrified. And I was just like apologizing to him. I was like, let's just move on. So we move over to like the opposite corner, turn on that one, same thing. I was like, this whole table, it's been rigged. I'm being bamboozled right now. So I turned it off and I was like, maybe we want a MacBook. I was so uncomfortable that entire interaction after that. I was like, sir, I think it's best if you leave and I go to the back and cry and we just call this one a day.
Did the customer end up buying anything?
He left. Yikes. He ended up leaving with an iPad case and he decided to order the iPad online. So the sale was made just in a different way. And I think I know who it was too. There was like this like bratty teenager with like a skateboard like in the corner. He was just like pretending to like use the headphones. So if I ever catch you, I don't work at Apple anymore, so I'm coming for you. Can I say that? Just kidding.
So my store is actually really big and there's a huge glass wall on the entrance. A lot of the transient homeless community comes in and out of the store. They, use our computers and then leave when they can. And sometimes because they are in the store a lot, some people are a little crazy. And this is a story about this one crazy lady. She's been in the store a few times, so no one paid attention to her. But she comes in the store and she's like, oh, Apple has been hacking my account for the last 5 years. And whenever someone comes in and says that, they're automatically crazy because Apple doesn't really care about your account. And so in this time, she escalates a little bit and starts yelling really crazy profanities. And then all of a sudden she starts spitting on one of our computers. So security then physically grabbed her because she was fighting them and they kicked her out of the store. And so it kind of dies down a little bit. And so then she's outside again and you can hear her screaming. She's causing a lot of attention to her outside of the store. And mind you, huge glass building, so we all can see her. And then all of a sudden, this woman starts stripping. This woman starts taking off all of her clothes and now she is butt-ass naked and everyone is just staring at her and you're just like, what do you do? What do you do in this situation? So the manager's frantic, freaking out, and they call the cops, and then the cops come and she's still fighting them, and then they arrest her, and then it's like nothing ever happened. And that's it. It was within the first few months I started working there, so that was my real introduction to working at Apple.
Did you hear anything about her afterwards?
No, she just disappeared from thin air after that. It was business as normal. No one ever heard from her ever again. Who knows where she could be? No idea.
What if she's making fun of the Samsung store?
She could be. I don't know.